Hi, welcome back to Decorate Your Table with Brenda. Today we're going to do two tables. We're going to do a red romantic table, we're going to make some cookies, and we're going to do a pink girlfriend's table. The first table is going to be a red table, and it's going to be a more intimate romantic table. So we start with a red tablecloth. Then at the dollar store, I bought these rose petals. You can buy them, they usually have them near the bridal section. So we're going to spread some rose petals out. Now I look at this and think this is very romantic. My husband looks at this and thinks, oh my god, those rose petals are going to be everywhere. Kind of has the same idea of things as it does glitter. Okay. So this is our centerpiece, and it was actually very easy to make. So let me show you how you can make it. To start our centerpiece, I used a cake stand for some height, and then I used this crystal tray. I wanted some lights underneath, so I put them down ahead of time, and I kind of taped them in place to keep them where I wanted them to be. So now I'm going to start layering on our candles. So I've got a slightly taller one that I want more towards the back. I used different sized candles and different holders. This is actually a candle holder that should go this way, but I'm turning it upside down. For some of these ones, to give them a little bit of height, I use these little candle holders. And again, I turn them upside down. As you can see, that gives it all different heights and levels and widths, and it just creates more interest. Then I'm going to start placing some leaves. I didn't use foam for this. I'm just going to place the leaves and the roses in and out of the candles. Got a different assortment of leaves just to keep things a little more interesting. These look like baby's breath, and because I'm doing roses, I think it works really well. So I'm going to add some of it in. Some of it I'm going to wait until I place the roses to see where I'm going to put it. Okay. So now I'm going to start adding my roses. I have a bunch of different sizes. This one's really, really big, so I didn't really want it at the front, so I'm going to place it more towards the back. These roses I bought at Michael's, and they're very, very light. They're really beautiful silk roses. And I'm just going in and out and placing them. And this one I'm just going to kind of balance it so that it stands up. That's where I'll use a little bit of baby's breath to hold it up. There we go. I also got these little tiny roses just to see if I need any spaces filled in. But you know what? I think that looks nice. You don't want it too overfilled. That's our centerpiece. These are our placemats. I'm going to layer them on. This was some fabric I bought at Fabricland, and I thought it was just so pretty. I actually bought it to make napkins, and I will use it as napkins, but I'm going to first layer it on as placemats for this table. Then I'm going to put a charger on a nice plate. Some more of that same fabric that's made into napkins. I'll put our glasses on the table. It is Valentine, so no Valentine is complete without chocolates. So we'll put some chocolates on there. So this is our red table all finished off. I hope you like it. We're going to make some cookies before we start our next table. So stick around for our cookies and for our next table. It's going to be a fun girlfriend's table. Hi, so we're going to start our empire cookies. I have a funny story to go along with the empire cookies. I haven't made these in 29 years. The last time I made them, I was pregnant with my son Adam. I started making them, I set them on fire, I went into labor. So we're off to a better start. We know that's not going to happen this time. So let's get started. First we need half a cup of butter. Butter has to be creamed. So I let it soften for a little while. So into the butter, we're going to add half a cup of white sugar. I'm going to add it a little at a time just to kind of make it easier to mix in. So get that well mixed, and then we're going to we have to add 1 egg and some vanilla. So it's always a good idea to crack your egg in the bowl first. That way you can make sure there's no shell. To this, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to mix that together. We're going to add this to our butter and sugar mixture. Okay. So when you have this well and truly mixed, we're going to add our dry ingredients. So our dry ingredients are 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. We're going to combine these slowly to the mixture. So we'll add a little bit. So we're going to combine this until it's at a stage where we can roll it out. Just press it all together. Then we're going to take our flour. We're going to put it on so we can roll it out onto the table. Let's put a little bit onto the rolling pin at the same time. This has to be rolled out until it's about 1/8 of an inch thick for the cookies. Traditionally, Empire cookies are usually cut out of little circles, but because it's Valentine's, we're going to try some little heart-shaped ones. Put these down. With Empire cookies, you need a top and a bottom. So anytime you cut one, make sure you cut the corresponding piece. So that will give us 12 cookies. So we'll start with that. So let me just move this out of the way. I should say we have preheated our oven to 350 degrees. I need a baking tray. Lift these and put them onto our tray. Usually for baking, I go to my sister-in-law, Teresa. She's the cook in the family. I have all this leftover dough, so I'm going to combine it and roll it out to make more, but I'll do that later on. Okay, so we're going to put these in the oven. It's 350 degrees, which is preheated, or 175 Celsius. And we're going to cook it for about 10 minutes, but all ovens are a little different, so after about 8 minutes, give it a look and just check and see. It should be lightly browned around the edges. Empire cookies are supposed to look a little lighter. You can see they're just starting to brown around the edges. Just going to take these off. The nice thing about parchment paper, it makes it easy. And we're just going to let those cool down. So as soon as these cool down, we're going to put the jam on them. We're going to sandwich them together. I'm going to do different shades of pink icing on them to give them different looks. Okay, so we've given it about 20 minutes to let our cookies cool down. So now we're going to assemble them and we're going to decorate them. We're going to start by putting the jam in the center. Traditionally, Empire cookies call for raspberry jam, but I prefer strawberry, so that's what we're using. Just make a little sandwich. What I want to do for the icing is I want to start with some light pink and get a little bit darker as I go along. I have 18 cookies here, so I thought I'd do 6 light pink, then a little darker, and then a little darker. I'm going to start with my icing sugar. I've got about a cup in here. This is the way my mother always made it. Then I've got some water, and I'm just adding a little bit at a time because it doesn't take very much into it. But make sure your water's hot. Just add a little bit more. I like adding it a little bit at a time because it's amazing how fast the icing sugar melts. We're going to add some food coloring to this, so take it easy on your water because we will be adding more liquid to it. I'm going to start with my lightest pink. So just a little tiny bit of red. Stir it around. Just take one of our little cookies. Let's put them back on here. Okay, so that's our first bunch of 6. Now we're going to add one more drop of the dye. This stuff is quite potent. Okay, now we'll do our next 6 cookies. Okay, so that was 6 of our next shade. So now we're going to add a little bit more. Oops, that was a lot. Yeah, and we're going to do our last bunch of cookies. So we're just going to put them under a plate. We're going to try and arrange them 6 light. So there we have it. Perfect little Valentine's treat that works with either table. All I need is a cup of tea. So let's start our second table. Like I said, this one's going to be a little bit more whimsical, a little bit more fun. We're going to start with pink this time. So we've done a white tablecloth, and I got this pink organza, and I like the shininess of it, and I think it'll add something to the table. I'm going to use some pink rose petals this time. I'm going to spread them down. For our centerpiece, we're actually going to recycle part of an old centerpiece, but let me show you how I'm going to start it. So we're going to use 2 plate stands this time. So we're going to start in the center. And here I have some little necklaces I bought. I thought they were cute. I'm going to show you what I'm doing with this. But I wanted this layer to be lit up, so I like the other centerpiece, I pre-taped the lights on so they would stay where I wanted them, and left a little bit here because it's going to tuck in at the top. So we'll just leave it like this. We're going to put this piece up on top. Now these necklaces, I'm going to attach some of them up high as well. Just some clear tape works fine. So that just gives it a different, more little whimsical look. I'm going to take a few little petals and scatter them around the second level. I don't want too much in here, but I have these little roses and they've got a little bit of glitter. So with the lights in there, they'll pick that up and they'll glitter and shine. So I'm just going to tuck a few of them in here. And that's basically the bottom row done. For our top, for our flowers, like I said, this time I'm going to recycle. So this was my wine and roses centerpiece. So if you watch that video, you can see how I made it. It's very simple. I added a few extra little hydrangeas in a very pale pink to it, just to fill it out a little bit more. I'm going to set it on top. Then to finish it off, I bought this big glittery heart at the dollar store, and I'm just going to wedge that into the center. There we go. And then I can hide our batteries by just putting them up in among the leaves. And that's our centerpiece done. So these are little candle holders, and I've done this trick before. These were my mother's crystal glasses, and they're really, really pretty. And I like to use them as candle holders, but I don't want to get wax on them. So I put water in them and put a little floating candle. And because I want them a little taller, I turn one upside down and put the other one on top. And it just gives it a little bit more base and a little bit more depth to it. So now we're going to set our table. This time we're going to use our napkins as napkins. So this we carried over from the other table, or part of it. These pretty little beaded glass plates or bowls that I got for our salad, these were actually, they belong to my niece Crystal, so thank you, Crystal. I'm going to put these on. We're going to add our glasses. These little bags have little treats for my friends. The little boxes that I got them again. You get them at the wedding section in the dollar store, and you just fold them up, but they're plain. So I got these little beads, and I just kind of add a little bit of decoration, and then I put their names on them, and it works as a place setting. So that's our pink table. As you can see, it's a completely different look, but they're both two very easy to do tables, and I think anybody could attempt them. I hope you're liking our videos. Please hit like and subscribe. So join us next week. We're going to do a table that's very dear to my heart. My husband and I are going on a cruise with a bunch of friends. So we're going to have a party, and we're going to sit and we're going to plan what we're going to do, the different activities and excursions, and something I'm really looking forward to. So I'll see you next week.